Good evening and welcome to this session of the Board of Studies live learning classes conducted by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In the last class, we began the topic on declaration and payment of dividend, and we could make good progress. We understood the meaning of dividend, types of dividend, what is interim dividend, and then we spoke about when or the sources of declaration of dividend. Also, whether there should be a transfer of profits to reserve, and declaration of this inadequacy of profit. Very important from the exam point of view. We saw the three conditions. We also did a question, so we could move on. We spoke about unpaid dividend account and how that is handled. Then we moved on to, we stopped here. We stopped here and we said payment of dividend. We said we'll take it up in the next class, which I'm going to do now. So, just to recall, if there is any unpaid or unclaimed dividend, dividend once declared is to be paid within 30 days from declaration. If it is not paid or not claimed, then within 7 days, it has to be deposited into the unpaid dividend account with a scheduled bank. There it will lie for 7 years. After the expiry of 7 years, it will be transferred to the unpaid or unclaimed. Thereafter 7 years, it will be transferred to the Investor Education and Protection Fund after the expiry of 7 years. In the meantime, once you transfer your funds to the unpaid unclaimed dividend account, within 90 days, you have to prepare a statement of the name, last known address, unpaid dividend amount, etc. of the person, and put it up in the website of the company, also on a website approved by government for this purpose, so that the IEPF will know about it. If you have not deposited the unpaid unclaimed dividend within 7 days in a scheduled bank, then you have to pay interest at 12% per annum from the date of default. 12% is not a small sum, because today most banks and other lending institutions are giving money to companies at around 8 or 9%, maximum 10. So a company with a good credit rating will get easily 8.5 to 9. So 12% is very high, ruinously high. So there is no big fun in not depositing it and rotating it in the company. The cost is going to be 12%. So if you're a prudent finance manager, you will realize that is very costly, and you will as well deposit it into the unpaid unclaimed dividend account. So we have a few students who've sort of logged in, or rather, many have logged in, I'm sure, but some have put up a message here. We have Aisha, we have Rajiniji, Darshan, of course, and Bhumika. Others may join later. Welcome. Today, what I'm going to do is I'll most probably be completing this, these slides, this topic a little early. So I'll have a little time. I am planning to discuss some assignment questions that I sent to you earlier. I thought I will discuss them and give the answers, or what I feel are the suggested answers. So that way we would, wrap up these sessions with up-to-date, some kind of a revision. If I remember right, we already did prospectus assignment. So the remaining topics right up to registration of charges and acceptance of deposits, we will do here. Since we are already doing problems within the slides here, I am not discussing any assignment there. So, moving on. Dividend should be paid, can be paid by cash, check, warrant. Cash, of course, no. Means hard cash, no. You have to only pay by check. or a warrant. See, a warrant is, as I told you, like a share warrant. A dividend warrant is payable to bearer. See, a check is payable to a person or to his order, whereas a warrant is payable to the bearer. Now, such things are not there in India thanks to money laundering. We don't do that. Though the Act provides for a dividend warrant, since no share warrants have been issued, no question of issuing dividend warrants. Dividend is paid into the bank account by electronic mode. Almost all 99.9% of the dividend in India is paid by electronic fund transfer to the designated account attached to the DP, the depository participant account. So rarely will you find dividend being paid in cash or warrant, even check, right? Except for some unlisted companies, maybe private companies may go for issuing checks, which will be deposited on. Today, the minute the dividend is declared, within 30 days, the bank is given an instruction. In fact, it's done automatically by the share transfer agents. The complete list of bank details are sent to the bank, to the company's bankers. In fact, what most companies do is they automatically transfer the entire dividend immediately on, after the AGM date, they will immediately transfer it. Transfer will be in that account only. So the 7 days issue is not a big deal. Most companies, most professionally managed listed companies do this. They don't wait for 7 days. The day they declare it, the next day they transfer the money, or the third day they transfer. And then from there, the instruction is given for payment. So they have 30 days now. So after 30 days, another 7 days now, nothing. If at all it's there, it's there. It will be lying there for 7 years, and then if nobody is claiming it, it can be sent. We have a question from Bhumika says, can we claim dividend after 10 or more years? You give proof of identity and the company confirms that you are a shareholder and you are entitled to this. The IEPF will expect the company to confirm it. So there is an application form that you have to prefer, which will be sent to the company by the IEPF. The company will go through the records and confirm everything. Then IEPF would, see, the IEPF will be having the money now. They will transfer it to the designated DP account, bank account. Sometimes the shares themselves may be transferred. If so, the shares also will be transferred to the DP account. More than 10 years. As I told you in my example, a gentleman had shares in a company, which he came to us almost 30 years later, 25 years later. We've managed to get the shares back for him. Recently, he got it back along with the dividend. Dividend was not a big amount, but the share value, as I told you, MRF ka share, 1 lakh plus per share. So that's almost 35 lakhs he has got from the company. So they were very happy about it. I do this as more of a service rather than as a professional activity. I do it more as an investor, as friendly service. So the idea is to help people. That's it, nothing more than that. The dividend will be paid to the registered shareholder or to his order. If he wants to tell to whom it should be paid, it needs a lot of trouble. Normally, listed companies will not entertain. When you apply for the share, please note, though the Act says to his order, when you apply for the share, if you read the small print, they will very clearly say, dividend will be paid only to the first holder. Not even if there are 2 or 3, it will be paid only to the first holder, not even to the second or third. When you apply for the share, you agree to this, and there is no prohibition. The company can put this condition. If you sign the application form, you are technically agreed to it. Later on, you cannot go and say you make the payment to him or her. But in some cases, unlisted companies, etc., they might give instructions on to whom it has to be paid and all, or to his banker, etc. Okay. See, Nidhi companies are a special category of companies. They collect deposits from their members and distribute, and then they give loans to their own members. Ideally, a Nidhi company would operate within a very closed geography of a district or a city or a small town, etc. So the idea of a Nidhi is not to be nationally present, but usually they'll be in a district or in a small pin code of a city. The idea being in that area, the those days, this was very popular in towns where, the town itself could generate funds. So if you're a businessman and you needed money, there were other people who were not needing money, the farmers and the employees and all that, who deposited the money in the Nidhi. So this money was again lent to the local businessmen, who are also members. So the Nidhi was sort of generating prosperity within that area. This is the scope of Nidhi. What happened in between, unfortunately, in the 90s was, late 90s, the Nidhis were, taken over by some unscrupulous people, and they were used to defraud the public of their hard-earned money. Therefore, there's a lot of control on Nidhi companies now. And today, there was no limit on how much a Nidhi could lend, so long as it got its deposits from the members. So this was, and the rate of interest could also be slightly higher. So they were actually popular, especially among the middle class and among the business community, there was a good exchange of funds. There was some kind of an intermediation happening between the, people who were saving money and the people who were engaged in business. So the return was good and thing. But unfortunately, this whole game has been spoiled recently, 1997, when 95 to 98, when certain unscrupulous people used the Nidhi form of organization to defraud the public. Therefore, now they've got a lot of conditions on Nidhis and all that. It's not very popular now, though it could be very popular. It is unfortunately tainted by that experience, whatever it is. So giving you a background on Nidhis. So Nidhis are basically small finance companies dealing with members, taking deposits from members and lending to members. So please understand, it is a small organization. Therefore, certain concessions are given to Nidhis. So if you think of a Nidhi as a large nationally represented NBFC or a bank, then no, please, that's not how they work. That's not how they are supposed to work. Okay, at least now, the way it's considered. So any dividend payable in cash may be paid by crediting the same to the account of the member. Please note that the members will have an account with the Nidhi. Every member would have an SB account with the Nidhi. Nidhis are allowed to operate on-demand deposits. The only company which is outside the NBFC network, NBFCs cannot operate on-demand. Only banks can operate on-demand deposit accounts like SB and current account. But Nidhis can operate SB account. So every member will automatically have an SB account. So instead of, that account, this dividend will not be deposited in his bank account, but it will be credited to the account of the member. Okay. So in case the dividend is not claimed within 30 days from the date of declaration of the dividend. So what they will do is they will send it to the bank account given to them. If they do not take it, then that SB account will be credited and it will be kept there. It will be earning some nominal interest and that's it. Okay. This is an exception to the Nidhi company, which need not transfer that amount to the IEPF. Nor should it open a separate scheduled bank and account in scheduled bank and unpaid dividend. Can just credit it to the members' account. That's it. After that, the members can come and collect it anytime they want. Any person claiming to be entitled to any money transferred to the unpaid dividend account of the company may apply to the company for the payment of the money claimed. How long he can claim? Up to 7 years. Up to 7 years, he can claim. And the company will, once he gives the proof, etc., it will be credited to this account. See, usually today this will happen only with very elderly people. What happened in the 90s, when dematerialization happened, most of the people who entered the market for the first time after 90s automatically had a DP account, automatically invested in dematerialized shares. Somebody who entered the market in 80s would have had a problem because they would have had physical shares. And like fools, they would not have dematerialized them. For the reasons best known, they would simply keep them in the locker and forget it. Then when they become older, when the children go around searching in their bureau, they will see these shares. Then only they'll suddenly realize that these are shares in huge listed companies held by their parents. Like my example, there are many. I've had another example of another company where one old gentleman kept it in the locker. When he died, the widow sees it. And then I did a valuation and I said, hey, these shares are worth almost 30-40 lakhs. See, for that family, that 40 lakhs is a big amount. For them, it is a piece of paper. So I had, and that was a transmission case. Please understand. Non-dematerialized physical shares, owner died. Legal certificate is there. Then Company was in Kolkata. I had to do a lot of work corresponding with the company secretary, finding out the procedure, doing it, and then getting the shares submitted. And at the time, luckily, no dematerialization. We got the shares transferred in the name, transmitted, and the physical certificates were given to these people. I don't know what they did with it. Subsequently, they must have got it dematerialized now. At that time, there was no need for dematerialization. They got a nice 3 lakhs or something as dividend, which was lying in with the company. Luckily, at that time, the company had deposited some portion that went to the IEPF. That IEPF claim also was made. Company itself could give them about 2 lakhs of dividend. The balance, I think, would have come from the IEPF. All this was facilitated. It is possible you can apply to the company. In case the company does not comply with these provisions of transfer and all that, then in case of continuing failure, 1 lakh rupees. And in case of a continuing failure, 500 rupees for each day, up to 10 lakhs. Of course, every officer who is in default, okay, 25,000 rupees in case of continuing failure. This is the latest provision as amended. And long ago, 2021, it was amended. Okay, not new amendment. There's an old amendment, merely mentioning here. 25,000 rupees with a further penalty of, in case of continuing failure, with a further penalty of 100 rupees. Okay. In fact, there was an imprisonment here which has been removed. That I've also removed. See, as of now, they have received some amount from the IEPF. Balance is pending the entire 25 years. See, once you are able to show the proof, IEPF is supposed to give it back to you. There's no other way, because it's not IEPF ka money, it's the shareholders' money. IEPF is just holding it in trust for the shareholder. That's all. The role of the IEPF is to hold it in trust. Idea is the company should not misuse the fund, which belongs to the shareholder ultimately. Once the shareholder gives his proof, company clears it, then every pie needs to be paid back. I didn't follow up. See, once the shares came, they called me and they thanked me and all that. They came and met me, gave me a sweet box, and that after that I stopped following up. I said, hey, some more money is yet to come to you, yeah? Please look at your bank accounts. See, after that you can't do anything. The IEPF takes its own sweet time, but it will be credited into the designated bank account. So I told them, please look at your bank account once in a while. Suddenly you will find there is a Diwali gift waiting for you in your account in the credit side. Complete. They will get it. No need for no deductions. And no TDS also. IEPF does not deduct tax. If at all TDS is that should have been done. See, at that time there was no TDS. Most TDS started only recently, about 4 years ago. At that time it was nothing. So now even if there is a TDS, net of TDS only, it will go to IEPF. Nah. The TDS will go to the government. The IEPF shall be, now we talk about the Investor Education and Protection Fund. This is a body. See, this is not a new body. There was an earlier Investor Education and Protection Fund under section 105, I think, of the old act. That IEPF is now the same IEPF under this new section 125. Okay. The Investor Education and Protection Fund. As I already told you, as the secretary of the Tamil Nadu Investor Association for 3 years, my confirmed view is that investors cannot be educated and let alone protected from their own ignorance and greed. And we are not educating. See, we are protecting the educator. See, we are protecting the investor, not from some unscrupulous promoters or from unscrupulous market players. They are there, but they cannot harm the investor if the investor is intelligent. If the investor is calm, if the investor reads everything, understands. No, that they will not do. In a way, we are protecting the investor from their own greed and from their own ignorance. How can you protect a man or woman from her own ignorance? Only by giving knowledge, and even that they will ignore, and they will say, we know everything. See, and while I'm there, I'm telling you now, 2023 AD, the next 4 years will see one of the huge booms in the Indian share market. Huge boom. Right up to 26, 27, middle, it will go. Thereafter, it will be shaking. That is when you will start seeing all these people coming and, these investors, they'll be investing heavily in the market because they will see profits in the short term. And that's what attracts these people. And they will come. But in spite of the warnings, they will come. In spite of the 100 times we tell them, this is not the time. Your time was then. They won't have patience because they would see people making huge money. They won't realize that these people have already invested long ago and are waiting for their returns. Whereas they want immediately, and they will get also, because the next 4 years, 3 years, market will go up, the pace will be more. So the angle will be higher, 60%. The risk is more. Automatically, the risk is more. So they'll be seeing within a matter of 1 year, 40% growth, 30% growth. And they will think this is the real market return. It is not. Over a longer 10-year period, the market gives 15 to 18% return. Max 20 if you are invested in the right shares. 20% is a good return, but over a longer period. And that too, risk mitigated. But this 40 and 50% that they will see in the short run is not risk mitigated. It is highly risky. Means the volatility will be very high. The probability of getting 40 will be there. The probability of not getting will also be there. The probability of getting a 40% return would be only 30%, whereas the probability of not getting would be 70%. This is what we mean by risk. Now, all these numbers, if you try to give them, if you try to talk to them about these probabilities and all, they will say, go to hell, allow me to go and lose my money, and they will run. So how do we protect them? That is the bigger question. I keep on asking in my meetings, I keep on asking, whenever I address investor protection meetings and all, I keep on asking these questions and making myself unpopular with the investor community. They get very angry with me because they call me to speak only to give tips. At the end of the speech, when I get down from the dais, they want only one thing. They want, so Srikanth, is there any tips you can give me, any share that I can invest like that? So I'm sorry to make this extraordinarily unnecessary comment, but no way we are going to educate and protect the Indian investor. The Indian investor, like the proverbial lemmings, is headed for his next to doom. I don't know if you know about the lemmings. Once in a while, an animal called lemming, every once in 2 years, all the lemmings will start going towards the big, they live near the sea. So where there are mountains next to seas. So these guys will climb the highest mountain and then jump into the sea and commit mass suicide. Why they do this, zoology has not answered. Similarly, the Indian investor will commit lemming suicide. This is what is going to happen. They started moving up the cliff now. And one fine morning, they will fall. And all of them will start drowning. And at the time, they will blame the government. That is when they'll start blaming the government, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, SEBI, and of course, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, not the ICA. No, not the ICA specifically, but the members of the ICA. They'll say every auditor who audited every company which I invested in is a fraud. Why? Because I lost money. That's all. No other reason. No other reason. Did you read that balance sheet? Did you read the qualifications? No, that's not needed. You guys CAs are all frauds. Because of you, only these companies have collapsed. No, sir. The companies did not collapse. Market collapsed. Market collapsed because of economic reasons. Okay, interest rates, so many things. You should have studied it. And when the boom was artificially created, you should have accepted it. These prices are unrealistic prices for these companies. You should have done your own intrinsic valuation of these companies, in which case you would have never gone near the market at these valuations. Whereas you went in at these valuations going by market relative valuations like PE multiple and all, which are misleading in these markets. See, this is the best market from now on till 25, 26 is the best market for IPO. A company which comes for an IPO now would get the best ever valuations in its lifetime. After that, it may not touch that, right? Okay, that type of valuations they'll get. Maybe the next time, even a good company has to survive 10 years before it can see the same valuation again. That is the type of market we are in now, slowly growing riskier and riskier. As every day, see, what all I'm now telling you, your students, you are not needing this. B, even investors they think they don't need it. If I give them this type of a talk, they'll get angry and they will throw the stones and they will say, get out. We want a guy who says, buy the share, buy the share, buy the share now, like that. If you know such things, come. Otherwise, don't come and waste our time. Good. So coming back to the point, Investor Education and Protection Fund. Where does this fund get its money from? We saw only one source. We saw only one source, which is C, amount lying in the unpaid dividend account. But there is more to it. The IEPF can get a lot of money from the central government. it will get donations from the central government because central government also has money, earmarked funds for investor education and protection. As part of the budget allocation, they have Ministry of Corporate Affairs. As part of the budget allocation, they have money. They will give it. And donations by the central government. Amount lying in the unpaid dividend account. Amount in general revenue account of the central government. Amount in IEPF. What is this? See, my dear friends, as I told you, this IEPF now under section 125 is only successor. Before this IEPF, there was an earlier IEPF. Okay. That IEPF had money, huge amount. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. In fact, there was a famous investor activist in those days. I'm talking about 90s, again, 80s, late 80s, early 90s. He passed away in late 90s. Around the time, 97, 98, he passed away. Mr. Kannan passed away. M. Kannan, I've heard him once, twice as president of TIA. My team, our team succeeded long after he came. He was a revered figure in the investor education community. I've heard Kannan speak very vehemently and say that was before the amendment to the old Companies Act, mind you, when there was no investor education and protection fund, only unpaid dividend account. See, all the monies of all the unpaid dividend up to 90s, 99 if I remember right, was lying idle with the company. Neither the company could use it because those accounts were locked. Company cannot use it. The interest was lying idle. Nor could government use it. Nobody had it. So it was Kannan who pointed out, if you total up all these amounts, see, before the 1999, this transfer was not there. 1999, they said 3 years transfer. It has to be transferred within 3 years. Then they said investor should, because it's a longer process to get from IEPF. It's a long-winded process. Believe me, if you want to get your dividend back from IEPF, it will take you minimum 1 year, 6 months to 1 year. If everything goes well, 6 months. It's a huge process because who are you before the IEPF? You are one chota. The IEPF is getting application after application online. So they can't deal with everything at the same speed. So they go on a queue. So you go and join the queue. And by the time you are, it's like Tirupati Darshan, you take your own time. 3 months, 4 months it will take. You cannot expedite it also because it's online and you're getting a ticket. And the ticket number will come later. Once it comes, it will go through. Then if your documents are not in order, immediately it will come back. Again, you will have to go back once more. So that's why I said it will take a long time. Therefore, they said 3 years is too short. Let the company keep it for 7 years. In case the guy comes and asks within 7 years, you take it, you give it to him. If 7 years the fellow does not come, send it to us, we will take care. Okay. In fact, they will also want to know who you are and all, because if the amount involved is very high, they will ask, how come you invested in this company and you never came? So they will see the genuineness. In my case, the genuineness was very senior person, not aware of the procedures. He honestly thought there is no dividend or something and he kept quiet. But the dividend was accumulating. Whatever. Now, so this old IEPF could come. That IEPF was formed thanks to Mr. Kannan's vehement request. What Kannan said was very simple. He said, don't give that money. He said, see, at that time, even this amount of investor education was not there. See, today you will find the National Stock Exchange, the SEBI and the Bombay Stock Exchange, the various other stock exchanges, they keep doing investor awareness programs. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India conducts it. ICSA does it. Tamil Nadu Investor Association, we used to do it. So we will conduct. Now it's all there. At least we keep telling people, and at least some of the obvious risks we keep warning them. We say, don't do this, don't invest in Bitcoin, don't do this. So that type of knowledge keeps going to them. At least that has become common now. We also use social media now to give awareness and all. Earlier, even that was not there, which is when people like Harshad Mehta and Ketan Parikh flourished. When, nobody knew. And the only information you got was through the press, and the press is tainted. The press is fraud. So the press gave you all sorts of, just like the social media today also. So if you want to get information from social media, go to authenticated sources, meaning government source, or go to a source like, say, for example, TIA or National Stock Exchange or SEBI, who will give you good information. Okay. Or go to a site like Money Control, but don't read the news items, read the main part of it. That they can't do anything. But on the opinion part of Money Control, no guarantee. If they say market is going to go up and all, that's opinion. Don't go by that. So such education was needed for, and that time there was no such education. So Kannan said, don't give me the money. That unpaid dividend money, keep it. That itself at that time was 600 crore. At that time, he said, just give me interest on that. That money is enough for all the budgets needed for education across India, which is what happened. Now that Investor Education and Protection Fund money, this unpaid dividend account money, that money, if the government uses it, no doubt, but they give interest, and that interest is more than enough to do education and protection. So they invested in government bonds and they invested in government securities. That gives them investment income. That income is enough. That's what Kannan said. That income at 6%, 4%, 5% tax-free is enough for conducting education. We're talking about 600. Now it's much more than 600 crores. When he spoke, in 89, 90, it was 600 crores. Today, it is much, much more. It's accumulating and it's earning. And all that money, that interest money is enough for education. Yes, IEPF can do. Protection today happens in a very, very peculiar way through SEBI and NSE and BSE. Thanks to online trading, thanks to electronic trading or electronic stock exchanges, you can stop trading with a press of a button. And the real damage in markets happens when a share goes unreasonably high and then some news comes out, negative news, as in the case of Wiedenberg, Adani and all that. So suppose somebody is trying to do the type of shorting in the market, the price of the share will collapse and fall in, the angle will be steep 89, 90 degrees. So that type of a fall is what kills the investor. Now that can be controlled because the minute you see a steep fall, the SEBI will immediately instruct NSE and BSE to put a lower limit, which means below a certain price, it will not go. They'll put a freeze, lower freeze. Below that, it will not go. Then they will call all the brokers and ask, hey, what are you doing? What is this? And then slowly it will get thing. Yeah, points F and G are the same. Thank you for noting it. I have tried my best to correct it, but it's not getting corrected. Okay. Points F and G are the same. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay. So this income from investments, so that's how the protection happens. SEBI protects in a different way. But that's the best protection I can say, because Ketan Parekh and Harshad Mehta problem happened only because uncontrolled there was a fall. Okay, uncontrolled there was a fall. Even then there is a black swan like pandemic. Okay, when your prime minister announced the pandemic, next day the market fell. See, we kept on telling, don't sell the share market, will not collapse. Pandemic will do nothing to the share market. Still, they will go and sell. Offload. Fools. Why they will sell, we don't know. Because I see they will collapse the market. Immediately it was a V shape, if you remember. It went down and then again it came. Next day it came up. Seriously, this is the problem. When however much, see, many people take up positions without money. They trade on margins. They borrow money. So once the price falls, they are out. Because a day trader, he has to come out. So he sells. So when a lot of people sell, suddenly it dips. But then at those prices, there is a resistance. People like me start coming in and saying, hey, wonderful price. Why don't I buy? And then when many of us start coming in and buying, it stabilizes and starts going up again. But that one day will kill people. There may be a lot of people who will see that their portfolio gone like that. So this is the problem with the share market. It's not easy. It's easy to talk about it. It's very difficult to make money in it and retain that money and take the money out of that market. These are the three questions I asked any budding investor or somebody who claims that, sir, Mr. Srikanth, I'm also interested in share market. Can you teach me how to invest in shares and all? They'll come and ask me. I say, look here, I'll do that. But first remember, talking about it is easy. I can talk to you, you can talk to me, we can talk to each other. Putting your money there is going to be difficult. And then that's a real thing. Making the money there and then not enough. You got to take it out. So this is something I cannot teach you. You will have to learn first the rules of how it's to be played. Then, of course, specific shares valuation. But first, the basic rules are there. If you don't know that, you get in, you're out. So many times, students who listen to me in my lectures, not only in institute, also in B schools, in public programs, anywhere they come to me and say, they think, it's something that can be taught. cannot be taught that way. Okay, it can be taught. You need 20 years and time teaches you, right? You need about 20 to 25 years, a little bit of your capital. Time teaches you and you learn the lessons well. Don't worry about that. But some basic rules are there that can be learned easily from Warren Buffett. Life of Warren Buffett. Just read Warren Buffett, you will learn it. See, the rules are very simple. Your problem is following the rules. Okay, it's easy. I can tell you 5 rules, and that 5 rules you'll never follow in your life. You'll never follow in your life. I will assure you, I'll give you those rules you'll never follow. Okay, the first thing you'll do is not follow. Yeah, emotional intelligence, behavioral psychology, 100%. See, anyway, that is not the subject of today's class, but then still it's closely linked. As I told you, as a future member of the institute, you should know the flavor of what you're doing. And you should understand that share market is good for some, bad for others. So be careful is the only advice I can give you. As Aisha was very smart, you see, she's going to become a very good chartered accountant because she knows how to point errors and find quick errors in a document, which is good. That is an important quality for a chartered accountant, to be able to find minute issues and point out. Okay, that is our job. That type of minuting is what our profession is all about. So yeah, F and G are the same. H, application money unclaimed for 7 years or more. Application money. See, somebody applies for a share in the public issue, IPO, and doesn't claim. Sometimes these are binamis. They apply through binami names, and then some problem happens, the binami refuses to sign. See, the binami DP account is used. The application is rejected. The money is now lying. But this fellow has closed the DP account, or he is refusing to take the money. And it's lying unclaimed for 7 years. Or it's a binami account. So investigation is going on. In the meantime, the application remains unclaimed. Application money. Matured deposits unclaimed for 7 years. Matured deposits unclaimed. Again, because, the amount may be small. The person may have gone abroad. Some many cases, what happens? Fellow goes abroad, settles down, doesn't bother about all this. Like, that's a lot of money remains unclaimed. I'll tell you one more thing that can go here. The unclaimed PF amount can also go here. Or the unclaimed PF amount in the PF commissioner's office, if they take it and they put it in a fund, that fund can be used to educate investors and employees on their rights. You can have a body that will educate the employees on their rights. And that money, that PF unclaimed amount, interest can be more than enough to fund it. So much unclaimed PF should be there in the PF commissioner's office with the PF commissioner. So if they just simply collect it and pull it together, it will be a huge amount. Similarly, matured debentures unclaimed for 7 years. Are you able to see? And interest accrued on H, I, and J above. Okay, H, I, and J above, interest accrued on that. See, along with the interest, it will be transferred. Amount received from the sale proceeds of fractional shares arising on issue of bonus shares or merger. See, sometimes these sale proceeds also will not be claimed, will be unclaimed. See, you are entitled to some money, you take it, no problem. I'm giving you, see, you are entitled to bonus shares or on merger a new share in the new company. But the exact fraction is not coming. Less than 1 share. So 1 share ka value 5,000 rupees. So you are entitled to 2,000 rupees. I send it to the account. Same account where the dividend is going now. Dividend is unclaimed. This amount also will be unclaimed. That amount will be going. Redemption amount of preference shares remaining unpaid or unclaimed for 7 years or more. Okay. And other amounts. See, all amounts payable as mentioned in clause A to N of section 125(2) will be there. Now B, see, please read this. All those shares in respect of which dividends have not been claimed or paid for 7 consecutive years or more. All those shares in respect of which dividends have not been claimed for or paid for 7 consecutive years. Which means when the dividend is transferred for 7 years, the 7th year, see, for 7 consecutive years, they have not claimed. Now on the 7th year, end of the 7th year, you will transfer the dividend of the first year. Along with that, you should transfer the shares also. Are you able to understand? First year, he didn't claim. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Now, seventh year also, that first year dividend is lying unclaimed. So at the expiry of the seventh year, you have to transfer the dividend. Along with that, because the 7 consecutive years he has not claimed the dividend, the share also will get transferred, which is what happened to my case, where the shares also got transferred. They will hold it in electronic form with the CDSL or NSDL. They will hold it. The IEPF will hold it, and they will transfer it back to you. When the shareholder comes and gives the DPID, to that DPID, they will transfer the dematerialized shares. But the unfortunate problem is, when these shares are transferred, the IEPF does not dematerialize. They simply keep track. Once the company confirms that these are the shares of that person and that they are dematerialized and this is the DP account to be transferred, then only they will transfer it. Till then, they will be holding it as a record. That's all. Once the instruction go to the NSDL or CDSL, then CDSL or NSDL will transfer to that DPID. They'll send the shares to that DPID. Very peculiar thing. All the resultant benefits arising out of the shares, including bonus. So automatically the bonus also will go to IEPF. Everything will go. Okay. All grants, fees, and charges received by the authority under these rules. All sums received by the authority from such other sources. Okay, whatever. All income earned by the authority, all amounts payable as mentioned in 103 of the banking company's acquisition. And see, sometimes when banks are acquired also, the money could remain unpaid, deposits and all, bank deposits. That will also be going here. All other sums of money collected by the authority, everything. Okay. Now, so all this money is collected by the IEPF. Huge, huge money. We are talking about thousands of crores is lying with the IEPF. What will they do with it? First thing, refund of unclaimed dividends. As I told you, once somebody comes and claims, they will give it back. The IEPF is holding this money in trust for the shareholder. Whenever he comes and asks and gives proof, it will be returned, refunded. Unclaimed dividends, matured deposits. See, in case somebody whom you know, very senior person in your neighborhood, doesn't know what to do, don't worry. Just go to the IEPF website, help him to make the application. Okay, because you are a CA student, now you know about it, help them to do it. Okay, it's a very simple thing online. You can simply go there, IEPF website is there, form is there, some information that this man will have, but keep everything ready before applying. Keep everything ready, go through it once, mock, note down what all needed, then sit and start entering. Much of it is not applicable. Only the first and second only you will fill, the rest of it is not applicable, not applicable. Finally, you will go for proof, ensure that he has a valid DPID. That has to be given. And this will go to the company. If possible, follow up with the company, send a mail to the company secretarial department saying, I made an application to the IEPF. This is the copy. Maybe send a PDF of the complete records. Ask them to help you. They may do something. They will definitely do something. Call up the company secretary if needed, and that's it. Okay. So this is just for your information. So refund is possible. You can claim it and it will be given to you. Okay. There is no delay. There is nothing, no corruption, nothing. Simply you make an online application. Within the course of 3 months or 4 months, you'll get it. You can't rush it. As I told you, you cannot rush it. It's a queue there. You cannot rush it. You cannot try to do something. No. Go there. In the normal, you can track it also if you want. In the normal course, it will come. Refund of unclaimed dividend, matured deposits, matured debentures, the application money due for refund, interest, retransferring of the shares, everything happens. But retransferring of shares, there is no money involved. Whereas in all these cases, money will be given to you. Retransfer of shares is just an act. It will be transferred back. Promotion of investors' education, awareness, and protection. See, hundreds of crores are spent for this. Not directly by the IEPF, but through agencies. Like the ICA, ICSA, ICWA, whatever they call themselves, ICA, they call themselves ICA, I suppose, and the Tamil Nadu, various investor associations. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs itself conducts education programs. So all these programs are funded by IEPF. Finally, you know what happens? SEBI does it. Now what SEBI does is SEBI takes money from IEPF and routes it. They become the routing agency through which it goes to all these people. Then SEBI collects all the data, gives it to the IEPF, closes it. SEBI submits the proof and gets reimbursed. And the amount involved in this is pretty high. And see what happens is some neighborhood is selected or and then at least 100 people, 200 people are needed. They will come and they will do it. So finally, you have to give a report of what you discussed and what was the message going on. So they have certain norms also what can be done. At any cost, no product should be promoted in these meetings. For example, you can talk about mutual funds, definitely give education, but at no stage you can recommend or promote any specific mutual fund or even a portfolio or any brand. So sometimes when I go as a speaker for an investor awareness program funded by IEPF, I'm very particular to give a disclaimer. I will not quote any share. I will not quote any fund. Shares, yes, I will talk on how the valuation is done and all anything. But mutual fund, no. Or even if I mention mutual funds, I very clearly say I'm only giving an example, not a recommendation. I'm not in any way supporting these funds or doing anything for them. Unless we do that, it will go. Distribution of any disgorged amount among eligible and identifiable applications who have suffered losses due to wrong actions by any person. Okay. So this term may sound a little funny to some of you. Am I correct? Some of you may find this a little funny. Disgorged amount. Disgorged amount. See, unscrupulous people collect money from investors by making false promises. Later on, these false promises are discovered to be false. And the Serious Fraud Investigation Agency or the MCA, they come out with arrests and all. But finally, what is the use of that? The people who suffered are the investors who invested. So they will make a public call. They will say, anybody who suffered loss on account of this company can make an application to this website. Then they will collect. Now, in the meantime, the promoters of this company, they would have siphoned the funds, right? It's almost like they have swallowed it. They have gorged it. The English word gorge means the throat, little bit below the throat. This is called the gorge. Below the mouth and esophagus, this part is called the windpipe, you can say. Windpipe and the foot pipe. That is called the gorge. So the money is there in the gorge. So what they'll do is they pull it out, disgorge it, take it out of these guys. They will attach their properties. They will attach their bank accounts, sell it. And all the money collected will be with the IEPF and will be used for compensating anybody who has suffered loss. So this is called disgorged amount. So gorging means to eat in such a way that you stuff your throat. It's called gorging. Disgorging is pulling that out of the gorge, okay, and taking it out and giving it to everybody. So any legal expenses incurred in pursuing class action suits. Sometimes when there is a fraud, well-known fraud, the debenture holders and the depositors may be unable or unwilling members to pay money to the legal fees because the legal expenses to hire a senior lawyer in Supreme Court or High Court would be very costly, may run into lakhs of rupees. So that can also be paid by the people and claimed. So they'll say, sir, we fought it on behalf of everybody. Some of us have funded it. We have spent about 10 lakhs. Reimburse it. If the proof is given, yes. Any other purpose incidental thereto in accordance with the rules. So that way the IEPF is a very interesting and very powerful body. Of course, under the old act, as I told, sorry, not 105, 205C of the 205A, 205A BC of the old act. So that will be transferred. Even if your money was transferred under the old act, you will be entitled to get refund. As I told you, wait 10 years, any period, even the old law, you will get it. Any person claiming the amounts mentioned above may apply to the authority constituted for this purpose. I already mentioned it. Okay. So the Investor Education Protection Fund will have an ex officio chairman, a secretary, who will be a member of the chairman would be a secretary rank of the ministry. Secretary is highest rank in the ministry, who would be the chairman. The minimum 6 to maximum 7 members and the chief executive officer, who shall be the convener. So their job is to monitor the provision of required resources by the central government for administration of the fund. IEPF authority to work in consultation with CAG. Because ultimately it is the Controller and Auditor General who audits the government. So this is huge money. So this money needs to be audited. And that will be done by the Controller and Auditor General of India. Okay. So obviously that needs to be audited. And the audited accounts together with the audit report shall be forwarded to the central government. The IEPF will also prepare an annual report and give it. See, later on, we'll be coming to another body. Okay, the National Financial Reporting Authority, NFRA. When we come there, you will see similar provisions are there, except that NFRA is for a different purpose. These are all called authorities and bodies. See, IEPF is a funding. The IEPF is managed by the IEPF authority, which administers the fund. The IEPF is a fund. That fund is managed or administered by the IEPF authority. Are you able to understand? Similarly, NFRA is an authority, a National Financial Reporting Authority, like that. Now, so beautiful IEPF over. Finally, the report of the IEPF and the CAG's audit report will be placed with the central government before both the houses of parliament. Friends, welcome to a democratic country like India. You and I, we are the public. We are the people of this country. We, the people, are entitled to any information. The government cannot, except bullshitting about national security. Short of that, nothing is a secret from you and I. If the government is doing something, they jolly well have to tell us what they are doing and why they are doing it. No secrets from us. You and I are people. And one way of ensuring that the secrets are not kept secrets is to say, whatever you have done, put it before both the houses of parliament. Friends, what happens when a document is presented before both the houses of parliament? Can you think? It's not the MPs who see it. Who are the MPs? Who are the MPs? They are not some god. They are not people who jump from heaven. They were elected by a public document. And just like, you as a citizen of India, you are entitled to any parliamentary proceeding record. It's available on the website. Today, luckily, videos are also available. If you want to go through those boring videos, you can. Everything that happens in the well of parliament is public. No secrets. No secrets. Okay. So this document becomes public. Right? So you and I have entered. You might think this is nothing great. I do agree with you. Nobody is going to go through the IEPF report. But if an investigative reporter wants to put together data, this becomes, all he needs to do is unearth something about IEPF fraud and get proof. Thereafter, he can go to the press and say, look here, I have got proof here that these people have actually spent only so much, but they have booked so much. How is it possible? In the public record, it says they have spent so much. Whereas this is the real record. And I've got it. See, that's what I'm saying. So this becomes a public. They can't go back. They can't bullshit. They can't say, no, this, that. No. They have to, that's why you have to be very careful before publishing to both the houses of parliament. That is why they say both. You will come across this, both the houses of parliament many times. In company law, you will come across it many times. Other laws also, you will come across it many times. When a particular report or document is presented before both the houses of parliament. See, there was a report given by the Sarkariya Commission, Parliamentary Commission. See, any report of a Parliamentary Commission will be presented before both the houses of parliament. This commission report was presented, based on which actions were taken and all that. If you don't know what the Sarkariya Commission is, go and Google it. But the report copies were all destroyed. Can you imagine? The report copies of the Sarkariya Commission were destroyed. Only one copy remained with the President's office. Can you imagine? There was only one copy with the President's office. Public document again. President's office is not secret. So it's open. So that copy was obtained. And then one NGO published it. They again published a limited edition. It was a huge document. Okay. And for information, my personal library has one of those copies. We are retaining it because in case of future, somebody forgets it also. at least 600 or 700 copies of the Zargara Commission report are available now for people to know what happened during a certain period of our history in India. Okay, record is there. And that investigation, it was a commission, with investigative commission, and it came out with a clear report. If you read the Zargara Commission report, but nobody knows about Zargara Commission report. Okay, then now I'm telling you, maybe you not even know what it is. But I'm not going to tell you more than that in this course. But if you would really want, go Google Zargara Commission and see. If you want to read the report, yes, some public libraries will not have. No government library will have. Don't worry about it. Okay, private libraries like mine will have. I have a personal copy. In my personal library, I have a copy treasured by me and my son, who is an advocate. Because when it came, we both read it, and it's a treasured book, and it's a great book, worth preserving, because it shows that we are still living in a democratic country, and these cannot be suppressed. Either way, whichever government, nobody can suppress information from the people. Okay, this is something that may not have anything to do with company law, but it has something to do with legal awareness. As a citizen of the country, you should be legally aware of what your rights are, what your fundamental rights are, and what you can do. This may come in very useful to you. Believe me, the government, for example, future practicing chartered accountant like you, some government official may do certain things which are wrong. What are your remedies? You should know. That man is not God. At least the parliamentarian is the legislative guy. This guy is an executive. He calls himself public servant. His hands are tied. There are only certain things he can do. The police officer, the income tax officer. There are rules that govern him. If he disobeys them, then he's violating your fundamental right. And you have a totally different remedy for that. Try to learn more about this. Though it's nothing to do with CA, try to pick up some knowledge about it as you go. That's why I'm giving you a little bit of peek, into this knowledge. Of course, if you are in doubt, consult an advocate. When in doubt, go to a good advocate, consult him, take him into confidence, and ask him for legal advice. He will give you. Okay, coming back to the mundane topic that we are discussing. Now, there could be quite a possibility that a share is being transferred by one person to another. There is some dispute with regard to the transfer. Okay. Then the company need not worry its head about it. It will simply hold the dividend or bonus shares in abeyance. To hold it in abeyance means stop it, temporarily stop. To keep in abeyance means to stop temporarily. I'm repeating, to keep in abeyance. Kept in abeyance means stopped temporarily, not permanently, temporarily, till the issue is resolved. So when dividend has been declared or rights or bonus shares have been announced, a record date will be announced for listed companies. Only those shareholders whose name appears in the register of members on the record date are entitled to such dividend or rights or bonus shares. We already saw the concept of a record date. Now, section 126 contemplates a situation where the company receives instrument of transfers of shares usually forwarded by the transferee of the shares for registration of transfer after announcement of the above benefits. So usually the transferee, see, bonus is announced. Somebody sends the shares for transfer. The transferee only will send it now, usually after announcement of the above benefits. Okay. Now let us see the section. In case any instrument of transfer of shares has been delivered by a shareholder for registration and the transfer of shares has not been registered by the company, such company shall take the following steps. Transfer the dividend in relation to such shares to the unpaid dividend account. The company need not so transfer if it is authorized by the registered holder of such share in writing to pay such dividend to the transferee specified in the instrument of transfer. This is called a mandate from transferor. See, usually when listed company ka share is sold, after the announcement of dividend, it will be sold cum div. Are you able to understand? It will be sold cum div. That means the person buying it will have to pay the dividend also and take it. In which case, he'll get a mandate. That mandate, if he gives to the company, he will get the dividend. If he doesn't get the mandate, if he doesn't pay cum div, then he will get it ex div, which means that he won't get a mandate. So on that day, whoever's name will come will. But in the meantime, what has happened? The share has been transferred. So now the company is in a dilemma. Like we saw earlier. A has transferred, right? B is the transferee. On the see, if the transferee can send it before the record date, no problem there. Before the record, see, you are aware that generally the dividend is going to be declared on such and such a day. Well, before that, they will transfer it to the unpaid dividend account. But in case the transferor gives a mandate to the transferee to pay to the transferee, then you can pay it to the transferee. In case of rights and bonus, it will be kept in abeyance. Nobody will get it. Those rights and bonus shares will be kept in abeyance till the transferee goes to the transferor, gets the mandate and gives it. Till such time, it will be kept in abeyance. Again, the dividend will be kept in the unpaid dividend account till the transferee brings the mandate. Once the transferee shows the mandate, he can take it. So, okay. So this is 126. Now, similar provision is there in the Securities Contract Regulation Act also for listed company shares. So, beautiful. Let's quickly go to the. So, in case you don't distribute dividend, in case you do not distribute dividend, failure to pay dividends, simple. Non-compliance with other provisions, no problem. Fine. But non-paying dividend, failure to pay dividend or post a dividend warrant within 30 days of declaration of dividend, company will be liable to pay simple interest at 18%. Mind you, I said 12 was high. Then what is 18? Okay, very high. See you. Yes, of course, in the indigenous market, without collateral security, 18 is normal. But with collateral security, with the rating, 8.59%. Double. This is 18%. Okay, double. Now, director. Every director. Here you'll notice, luckily, secretary is company secretary. KMP is not there. Only director. All directors. Okay. Straight away imprisonment. Up to 2 years. If knowingly a party to default. Here imprisonment is there. My friend Jasprit Kaur is not there today. If she is there, she will ask whether this is the old or new. This is Pakka, always there, will never be there. Because not paying dividend to the shareholder, straight imprisonment and fine. 1,000 for every day of default. This and is very powerful. Later on, when we come to final, we will tell you about compounding. So there you will find once an offense is imprisonment and fine, you cannot compound it. The conviction will happen. Maximum you can go before the court, plead the dividend. If you do not pay the dividend, fine, imprisonment. They give you a few exceptions. We say if you are able to show these circumstances are there, then there will be no punishment by way of imprisonment. Sorry, no punishment under section 127. If you can prove that dividend could not be paid by reason of operation of any law. Maybe some law came and they said these shares, the SEBI guidelines were changed, said these disputed shares, no dividend, whatever. Some law says don't pay and you didn't pay, no problem. Shareholder gave directions regarding payment of dividend. For example, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs through the Income Tax Act can come out with a stupid amendment which says people who have not linked their PAN and Aadhaar, right? You cannot pay dividend to them until the PAN and Aadhaar are linked. Can come. As of now, there is no such provision. Maybe I'm giving ideas. Our great finance minister capable of bringing such a provision. If you're not linked to your PAN and Aadhaar, don't pay dividend. Dividend will be kept in abeyance. Like all sorts of things they can say. So whatever it is. So that is operation of law. Shareholder gave directions regarding payment of dividend, and these directions cannot be complied with. For example, he gave a bank account. That bank account KYC norms have not been complied with. The bank is locking that account. Now the money is not going into that account. Account is not inoperative because of KYC. Now this is up to that guy to go and give his KYC and revive that account. Till then, what can be done? Nothing. I have to keep the money. That case, nobody can blame me. This is a classic example of unclaimed dividend. Dispute regarding right to receive dividend. As I told you, where there's a dispute, you keep it in abeyance. You can't pay. Okay. Dividend has been lawfully adjusted against any sum due from shareholder. See, friends, share application money cannot be adjusted against any money due to him. due from him. But dividend, the company has a lien. It can adjust it against any sum due from the shareholder to the company. If you do that, then no punishment. For any other reason, the failure to pay or post dividend warrant within the prescribed time was not due to any default on the part of the company. See, for example, extreme pandemic, banks are closed for 30 days. No bank will work. No employee can come. Everybody is at home, struggling with another worst, greater virus. Nobody wants. So banks are not working. Even from home, they can't work. And how can they work from home? Bank, they have to go there. And bank, this time around, the bank employees tell very clearly, if everybody is staying at home, we will also stay at home. We only will go to the bank and sit and risk ourselves. So they also refuse. So government is forced to close the banks. If you want a complete lockdown, no bank. See, when the earlier bank lockdown came, the bank employees were so great. They were willing to come half a day and sit and help people because money, some people could not handle internet transactions. Some people couldn't understand digital money. So they had to come to the bank and draw cash. So for that purpose and other purposes, the bank employees were there. This time around, they might say, if you want a total complete lockdown, then no, we will not go. Then no bank. How to post the dividend? How to pay? Not possible. Then delay beyond 30 days or non-payment within 30 days, no punishment. PQ Limited declared and paid 10% dividend to all its shareholders except Mr. Kumar, holding 500 shares, who instructed the company to deposit the dividend amount directly in his bank account. The company accordingly remitted the dividend, but the bank returned the payment on the ground that the account number as given by Kumar doesn't tally with the records of the bank. Possibly the fellow was drunk when he wrote the application form or filled it, whatever. The company, however, did not inform Mr. Kumar about this discrepancy. Comment on this issue with regard to failure to distribute dividend. Two marks in it. See, this is one of the exceptions to the 127, where shareholder has given direction and these directions cannot be complied with, and the same has been communicated to him. Here you are not communicated. Therefore, the company is liable to punishment. Are you able to understand? You should have told him now. That is why they say, and the same has been communicated to him. Right? That is the point here. In case of Nidhi alone, if the dividend payable to the member is 100 or less, then if it's 100, then or less, declaration of dividend is made in local language in local newspaper having wide circulation. And the announcement of the declaration is also displayed on the notice board of the Nidhi for at least 3 months. So the account will be that 100 rupees, it will go to his SB account. That is why I said, nah, these are all small category fellows. Okay, small towns. So they give an exception for Nidhi. Friends, as I expected, we have completed the topic well within the duration today, which means I have a lot of time to get into, shall we say, the assignments. So what I'm going to do is, with your permission, move on to see. I have uploaded registration of charges in the website, in the portal. Acceptance of deposits and declaration and payment of dividend will be uploaded mostly tomorrow or maximum Tuesday, right? Maximum Tuesday, you'll get it. Before Tuesday, evening class, you will get these two. This assignment, whatever I'm showing also, well, I will upload it as general assignment discussed today. I will upload it. So what I'm now going to do is, I'm going to have a small break for 5 minutes. See, the idea is not a break. I just want to grab, get a glass of water, and then I'll start. In the meantime, no break for you. Okay, you will have to start off with the first question. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to discuss the assignment questions that I shared with you for the next an hour and a half or whatever. So we'll discuss these things. For the next 1 hour or so, we'll do this. hopefully. And so you will give me an answer. In case I don't get any answers, I will give the answer myself and we'll move on. So here is a question. Kindly read it. I'm giving you time to read. During that time, I will grab a cup of water and come. Which is greater than 100. How did she get 205? John Graham, who is the CEO, has an employment contract with the company. So he is an employee now. So one I will remove. So that is 19. Okay. 19. Right. 19 plus 6, 25. Let us see if Ms. Aisha is right. I'm waiting for Darshan's answer, if at all. Yes. You are absolutely correct, madam. As usual. The legal provision, you know that. See, you will have to remove that for the 200, CEO will be removed. So that makes it 19. The 5 employees who acquired the shares before they become employees can be excluded because at the time of calculating, so you will remove that 5. They can be former employees can be removed. Okay. Which leaves us with 19, the 186 non-promoters, and the employees, of course, will be removed. The employees need not be considered. 16 not be considered. Former employees will not be included, to whom shares are allotted. CEO will be excluded here. So I have 19 plus 186, 205, which is more than 200. So cannot enjoy. Bharat Bank Limited has 3 subsidiaries, one of which is BRDBL. Now, BRDBL has 17 subsidiaries. Bharat Rural Development Bank Limited has 17 subsidiaries engaged in microcredit finance in various districts of Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. One of the said 17 subsidiaries, Mangal Microfinance Corporation Limited, wishes to acquire another microfinance credit, make it a wholly owned subsidiary. Can it do this? Bhumika ji, now that I'm in the second question, you need to tell me whether you are answering for 2 or 1. So going forward, just put the question number and the answer, if you don't mind, going forward, because now that next question, I may be going, I will not know which question you are answering. If you are answering the first question, you are right. If you are answering the second question, Darshan says 2D, Rajani says 2A, MFCL cannot go, as it lead to a 4th layer. See, as you might remember, you can have only 2 layers of subsidiaries. Bharat Bank Limited, BRDBL, one of the 17. Now, there is Bharat Bank, then BRDBL, then 17 subsidiaries. Second layer, 17 subsidiaries. Mangal Micro is the second layer. There is 1, 2, 3. Now the 4th layer, actually 3rd layer of subsidiary, 4th level will come when this new microcredit finance is taken. So there is a general prohibition which says that a company cannot have more than 2 layers. 2D, wow. Darshan, very imaginative man. Maybe he should become a secretary to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs because he's giving himself powers that he does not have. 1C is correct, madam. How about 2 now? Mr. Darshan is giving to MCA powers that they do not have. In this case, there is no, MCA does not have any power to give prior approval and all for this. No. There is a blanket prohibition, straight. But then, can I conclude that Rajini is correct? The B is absolute bullshit. MFCL cannot go ahead with acquisition as the proposal is against, because first of all, it is not against public interest. Even if it is against public interest, there is no prohibition. That's if you want to, then you have other measures under the Banking Regulation Act. I have given you the clue now. Now, can you think again? The answer? See, this is the problem with the MCQ. Mr. Darshan, shall I lock? Shall I lock the answer? Because if you are wrong, then you will lose 50 lakhs. I mean, kaun banega crorepati ka language. Okay, you didn't read the question. Now you answer it. Bhumika also says 2A. See, the problem is you are not revising the material properly. Okay, we saw exemptions now. There were certain exemptions. One of the exemption is banking company. Bharat Bank is a banking company. Banking company can have any level of subsidiaries. There is no prohibition. So C is the correct answer. So we have Ms. Janice Angel Mary from the Eastern region. Welcome, madam, from the Eastern region. First time I'm seeing somebody getting involved in this query pad from the Eastern region. We got Northern region, Southern region, of course. Darshan is representing, Western region is there. Central region also, we had a couple of people coming and going. But Southern region, we also have Aisha. Eastern region, first time. So I shall presume that you are from Kolkata. I don't know. I shall presume. So Janice also gets the answer wrong. See, now you are all going to get very angry with me because you are wrong. You are absolutely correct. There is a general prohibition, etc., etc., etc. But the exception is bank. Okay. But Bharat Bank Limited, being a banking company, is a specified company and the prohibition does not apply. Okay, small. See, that's why when we are setting multiple choice questions, it will be very tricky. Otherwise, it will be as good as IAS or clerical grade exam. Yeah. Are you able to understand? Capital of India is what? I don't know. Like that. Patna, Chennai, New Delhi, London. I mean, okay. So that's the problem with MCQs. They can be utterly simple or extremely complicated. Either way, the student suffers. See, the Institute of Company Secretaries of India famously made 2 papers entirely MCQ, no less than accounting paper, our specialty, and taxation. Our another specialty, they made it MCQ for those guys. So they could go. Then they found that guys are clearing with 80-90% and all. But when they actually ask a question on law, on accounts or tax, these guys know nothing. So then only they realize that multiple choice is possibly not a good method of testing these buggers. So now they've gone back to descriptive. Gone back. Every time when the day they introduced MCQ, I said, what you're doing is wrong. I'm a faculty there and on the faculty panel. So I said, no way you're going to do this. Please go back. They didn't listen. They said multiple choice, multiple choice. Suddenly they realized that the quality of the output was pathetic. These guys see pinky, they're getting the answer. For all you know, probability is there now. And they're getting, and they're clearing 35, 40% enough now. 40 here, maybe he'll get something better there. Overall aggregate, fellow clerk scrapes through, and then he comes and stands pathetically in front of us, not knowing any accounting, any tax, but technically supposed to know because he's cleared intermediate of executive program. So now they've got better senses have prevailed after again and again beating it in the head. Now, no MCQs. Okay. Madam, you can forget it now. Absolutely no problem. Don't forget in the exam hall. That's why I'm saying, don't think MCQ is a panacea for all evil. It is not. MCQ has a limited application. I will show you a question later, which is ideal for MCQ. And it only tests your awareness of specific drill down details. Just test whether you know it or not. That's all. I want to quickly know whether you know the basics of this topic. For that, MCQ is good. But when I'm trying to test expert level knowledge, MCQ fails miserably. I'm telling you. When I'm trying to test expert level knowledge, sorry, I need you to describe. Okay. Otherwise, I cannot know whether you know it. Yeah. See, it's boss, MCQ for medical exams and all MCQ, then you and I cannot go to a doctor. You will not know anything. 60% of the paid up share capital of Bethal Constructions Private Limited. Bethal Constructions has a paid up capital of 3 crore rupees and its turnover for the previous year ending 31st March 2021 is. Yeah, not only you read, see one thing now, before the exam date, take my PowerPoints. 1-2 days before or 1 day before the exam you'll have, in between day. That day you simply check, you go through it, look at it. Your chances you'll do a fast revision. My PowerPoint slides are fast revision. Entire syllabus you can revise within 24 hours with my slides. Provided you studied, now it will be reinforced. Exam you'll go, you'll get marks. 3A. What I suggest, those PowerPoints you keep it with you now. That you can keep in your smartphone now. That you can keep in the smartphone now. See, basically, once Vikramaditya holds 60% of Bethal, Bethal is a private company, Vikramaditya is a public company. Bethal is a private company. And its paid up capital is 3 crore, less than 4 crore, turnover 25 crore, very much less than 400 crore. No problem. Okay. 40 crore, sorry, less than 40 crore. So, seems to satisfy now. Bethal will be deemed to be a public company and can also avail status of small company. Yeah? So it looks like Aisha is right, Gudri is right. B will be deemed but cannot avail the status of small company. Who is saying that? Darshan is saying. Janice G is again going for D. Bethal will continue to be a private company but cannot avail. See, a private company which is a subsidiary of a public company will become a public company, deemed to be a public company. So B looks good and A looks good. So A and B, no 50-50 no. C and D out. Straight away C and D out. Which means that we are now with B, A and B, 50-50. So 50-50. No, you can't call a friend. So wait. Okay. Small company ka definition, there is an exception there. Remember, what is that? A holding company or a subsidiary company will not become a small company. Also, small company by definition is a private company. Public company can never be a small company. Even if so, this fellow is already deemed to be a public company. How he can be a small company? Assuming you fight there, go to the next level, you will get caught. Holding and subsidiary, it can neither be a holding nor a subsidiary. Here, this fellow Bethal is a subsidiary. Na? So, my friend Darshan is correct with B. See, that is why I'm giving reasoning also. I'm not going to read the reasoning. So, Bhumika now suddenly comes out with B. Good. Maybe she had some connectivity problem. Bhumika is changing her answer. Sorry, computer G already locked. You have lost 25 lakhs. You could have taken off. See, in those days, Kaun Banega Crorepati was there, na? Amitabh Ji used to keep on asking, right? Because sometimes, see, you can take 15 lakhs and run. Instead of going for 25 lakhs, you can take 15 and go, which is better. So that is the ultimate choice in life. Take that 15 and be happy instead of taking that risk and losing everything. Yeah. My God. See, this JBR is going to be a real pain, but JPR Limited is holding 51% of the paid up share capital in JMR Limited and JKR Limited. So, but in these type of questions, do not trust your memory. Take a paper, kagas stick, then you write. You prepare chart. Don't, think, write, prepare a chart, JPR. Two subsidiaries, JMR, JKR, 51% holding. So they are subsidiaries. JPR Limited holds 20% of the paid up share capital of JBR. Okay, JBR. So JBR, it has only 20%. So JBR is not a subsidiary. But JMR and JKR Limited hold 30% each in JBR. So JPR 20, JMR and JMR 30, JKR 30 in JBR. In the meantime, on MNR PTE Limited, a Singapore-based company, holds 20% of the paid-up share capital of JPR Limited as well as JBR Limited. So JBR Limited thing looks like this. JPR itself has 20. These two, JMR and JKR, have 30 each. So 20 plus 30 plus 30. I get 30 plus 30, 60 plus 20, 80. Plus the MNR, this fellow MNR gets 20, total 100. Okay. So if you think this is confusing, come and see some of my client accounts. There'll be 10 companies. In fact, sometimes they will call me and my job is, Ashwatthama was the only man who could give the names of all the 100 Kauravas. Do you know that? Even the Kauravas, the mothers, Gandhari did not know all their names. Only Ashwatthama could give the name of the entire 100 Kauravas. He knew their names. Like that, in some groups, they call me and says, Srikanth, you tell what happened. So I said, that company was incorporated as so-and-so limited. It got changed the name. Then it got merged with this company. Now this is acquired. Today this company is there. The entire history of all their companies I'll be able to give from memory. So that is the level at which you should become familiar with your clients. Otherwise, practicing it becomes a little difficult. If you are in service, then your group, your company, you should know by heart. Every company, when it was formed, when it got merged, when it got changed, when it changed the name, whatever corporate action, you should remember it. And you should be able to reel it off when you are in a board meeting or reporting to the MD or reporting to the audit committee. That is what gives you the, what shall I say, the reputation of being a powerful professional. See, in our profession, qualifying is only the entry level. We call it table stakes. We call it table stakes. Just have to enter the game, you have to clear, Thereafter, the game starts. That's when the real challenge starts. So becoming a member of this institute is only a table stakes. The game starts after that. Then you have to play. Okay, the stakes will be going up. So one way to stay on the table is to have such intricate knowledge. Then let's see what my friends are saying. Darshan says 4B. Okay, let me wait for some more answers. Darshan, I am betting on you. I am betting that you will clear the exam with very high marks. I am betting on this. Prove me right. I am betting on you. It's a bet. I don't know for sure because I have not met you. If I physically meet you, I can tell to certainty. I can tell whether you will clear or not. But I am putting a high probability and I am betting that you will clear this exam with high marks. Good. Aisha is coming with 4B. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. Okay, good. So, correct. Aisha, you're right. Darshan is also right. Obviously, because see, there are two ways in which a company can become a subsidiary of another. One is by de jure, when it holds 51% of the paid up share capital. In this case, no. JPR is only holding 20%. But another method is it can control the composition of the board of directors or controls more than 1/2 of the total voting power. either at its own or together with one or more subsidiaries. That is what is being checked here. So JPR 20, JMR and JKR together 30, 60 plus 20, 80. So this fellow is controlling 80%, which means he is controlling more than one half. Okay. MNR has nothing to do with this. That MNR point is just a waste of your time. If you got locked in it, you're out. And JBR Limited is a DBR Limited is a de facto subsidiary of MNR Pte Limited. No, it's not. C is not a statement which is correct. Okay, because that's MNR is only holding 20%. And it has no connection with the rest of the guys. So JPR Limited is, it's only given to confuse you. So others don't think that I'm wantedly telling Darshan's name because, see, I don't know if you're aware, I'm also a psychologist. I have a degree in psychology. And in other people's case, now you have not spoken much. See, most of you are either communicating to ask a question or you're giving some answer or something. So I'm unable to judge your emotional, intelligence or your emotional quotient. Whereas this guy, he keeps on putting in comments, etc., etc. And then he is also right on answers. So what I see is an enthusiastic guy who is also knowledgeable and intelligent. All he needs to do is to control his impulse and think calmly and write. He will clear. But he should control his impulse. That's all in the exam. Rajini also comes with 4B. So the rest of you, I'm unable to comment because I don't know your emotional makeup. I don't have enough data for that. Whereas for Darshan, I have enough data to make this comment. Okay, Mr. Ashok holds, this is silly no-brainer. Don't even think bad of me asking this question to a CA intermediate level students, but let's see what answer comes. I'm not going to read it for you. It's a quick draw question. It should be a 1/4 second draw. We call it quarter second draw. Okay, the gun should be out and you should shoot. That's it. No talking. Your answer should come. That's all over. It's called blinking of an eye draw in the Wild West. It's called the blinking of an eye draw. Straight away you should be answering it. No question, no time, nothing. Straight. Such a simple question. Huh? IEPF. Madam, my friend from Kolkata, confirm that you're from Kolkata and not from Guwahati or anywhere else. Sorry, I am reconnecting to the query pad because my hand, I casually. If you have not even completed preliminary, I don't know how we are going to complete the entire thing. Let us see. Otherwise, I'll do it in some other class. Don't worry. Before the class is over, I'll cover all the. So we have Aisha 5C. Correct. Darshan 5A. Sir, fully paid share, he purchased for 250. What is the liability of Mr. Ashok? See, the liability of a shareholder of a company limited by shares is, complete the sentence, then you will get the answer. The liability of a member of a company limited by shares is the amount if any, paid or unpaid? Unpaid. So the amount actually paid by him is not relevant at all. Face value also is not relevant because it's fully paid up. So where is the liability? Okay. So in a way, Darshan, you are proving my psychological assessment of you. So I said, be careful. Okay. This is a simple question. No liability. Aisha is correct and Rajini is correct. They given 5C, 5C. So yes, overconfidence. I'm doing my best to control, and yes. So that's all. That is that, and that again is a correction. It's a small correction. Just control yourself. Before writing an answer, please check it 100 times in the exam. Otherwise, you are in trouble. Yeah. Correct. That's all. Simple. See, this is a principal issue. I just want to be sure that See, this Bharat Biogas thing, I'm not going to waste your time. Already we have discussed it. See, the only point you should notice, Bharat Biogas Limited, central government and state government together are holding only 45. So a government company is one where either central government or state government or central and state in combination hold more than 50%, 51% or more. In this case, it looks like central government and state government are holding less than 45, whereas NTEC is only government company. But one more definition of government company is a subsidiary of a government company is a government company. Therefore, Bharat Biogas is a subsidiary of NTECL. Therefore, NTECL is a government company. NTECL is a real government company. Okay, it is a joint venture between the NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation, and the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board. There is a tangent co. So these two fellows have come together. They have set up a power plant in Minjur, which is a very, very powerful power plant set up by NTCL, and a lot of power plants are there. NTCL and Tangent have a lot of collaborative atoms. This Bharat Biogas is a subsidiary of NTECL. Not really. Bharat Biogas is a fictitious company. No such company exists. It's created only for this question. Okay. But NTECL is a real company. But it has no subsidiary called Bharat Biogas Limited. Okay. So, but since Bharat Biogas is a subsidiary of NTECL, which is a government company, Bharat Biogas is also a government company. Okay, now we move on to incorporation of company. So quickly, Malfeasance Limited was incorporated by Mr. Unscrupulous and others. See, the names are sometimes a little giveaway. Huh? So the company was formed for a fraudulent purpose. Obviously, if the name is Malfeasance and then promoter is Unscrupulous, so it's for a fraudulent purpose by furnishing false information regarding the identity. See, in real life, frauds will not keep names like Unscrupulous. They will have extraordinarily good names. Okay, you will never know them. The company was formed for a fraudulent purpose by furnishing false information regarding the identity of the subscribers to the memorandum. Which of the following is not a power available to the tribunal when dealing with the matter on an application made to it? Yes. Darshan, again, you're back on track. For this, this question demands your knowledge of section 7, subsection 7. Okay, where the powers are given. It's there in my PPT also. So there, if you see, power to take action and refer for discipline is not one of the powers. That is a power available with the central government, not the tribunal, right? Okay. 1C is right. Moving on. Yeah, absolutely. All of you got the right answer. Oh, we already discussed these questions, is it? Then let's move on. Good. I'll move on to the next topic. If we have already discussed it, then good. Now, second assignment in incorporation. Good. Thank you for warning me. I'm skipping it, Darshan. Moving on to second assignment. Second assignment. Have we covered this? maybe I might have covered the first one. Could be. I totally agree with you. How about the second one? Assignment 2. Okay, while I'm there, I use a lot of names which sound like they are real people. No, all these names are fictitious. No, any resemblance to any live person is purely unintentional. If there is a gentleman, Mr. Kamaljit Dwara, he has to pardon me. Okay. And it so happens if he has an younger brother called Jaydeep Dwara, then the intention was never to. But it's a common name, you know, in the western part of our country. Vora is a common name. So I thought I will use the name. So Kamaljit Singh Vora started a one-person company with his younger brother, Mr. Jaydeep, as the nominee. The company has a paid-up capital of rupees 5 lakhs and the turnover for the last 2 financial years was less than rupees 1 crore. Mr. Kamaljit Dwara is a socially conscious person and he now wishes to convert his OPC into a private company under Section 8, right? The company proposes to engage in promotion of handicrafts made by artisans of a remote district in Punjab. Good, laudable motive. The company shareholders will mainly be the artisans, and it is proposed to give them back a share of the company as dividend every year. Wow. Now this guy wants to convert his OPC into a Section 8 company. The conversion as proposed by Mr. Kamaljit Singh Vora, A, is possible as there is no legal bar. B, is not possible. C, is not possible. D, is not possible for various reasons. No, I think that 5 questions we have already covered. The first, those 5 questions I think we have already covered. Anyway, don't worry. You answer this question, then I'll go back and let's see. One C is not possible because an OPC cannot be converted into a Section 8 company. Beautiful Bhumika ji and Aisha. You're absolutely correct. Yes. Okay. So, see this, there was a prohibition about conversion based on capital and turnover and all. That has been removed. We already saw that. Okay, so don't get into that. So straight answer is correct. Now, Darshan says we have done this, not only this question we have not done. I don't know. Let us see. Darshan ji, what I will do, I will show it again. This is the second question. Check out. Check out if you have done it again. If you have not done it, do it now. It is an assignment I have sent. I already uploaded these assignments. Some of you might have done it already. See, Rajdeep Industries was promoted by Rajesh, Rupesh, Hitesh, Bhupesh, and 3 others, totally 7 Admis. So these fellows, Rajesh, Rupesh, Hitesh, and Bhupesh are brothers. The company operated from Ahmedabad. Bhupesh, the youngest brother, was working in Muscat. Yes, Bhumika, you're right. And that's there. Section 8 company cannot use it as dividend, but that's not relevant here. OPC cannot convert it into Section 8, and Section 8 cannot give dividend. Absolutely correct. So, this fellow, Bhupesh, the youngest brother, was working in Muscat. See, his name was included in this company, possibly because it's a family business, and fellow's name was, hey, I'm telling you, Darshan, don't waste my time. I think we discussed all these questions. Please do not waste my time. I'm going on with the second assignment, okay? Simply let us not waste your time. Now come to the second question. This question, let us see, which is, anyway, I'm going to upload this PowerPoint as a PDF, wherein if you think I'm not covering it, no, don't worry. You go through it when it comes to you. You go through it with the answer. You see, you give the answer, then check up. See, I'm only doing the extra dimension of reading the question and reading the answer. Idea is, I might give some other information. Can we go on with these questions? Because you told only I'm going back. Otherwise, I would have gone forward. Okay, Avis Garments is a company engaged in the business of manufacturing cotton garments. The company has a major brand of men's apparel called Magnum. Said brand called Magnum is registered as a trademark in the name of Avis Garments Limited. As the brand has a good visibility, the company is proposing to change its name to Magnum Textiles Limited. Okay, so see, their original name was Avis, possibly because the founder, maybe a grandfather, started Avis. Then this company started having a brand and all. Then the Magnum became a brand. Then, but still the company is called Avis Garment. Now they are saying, hey, we are not known as Avis. Yeah, everybody knows us as Magnum. So let's change our name to Magnum Textiles, and maybe Magnum is a registered trademark. So let's do that. So now the company wants to change its name. The company has accepted deposits from the public and has not repaid deposits worth rupees 10 lakhs on the date of application. Now you advise the company. The second, now I want answer for 2. So you please put 2 and then the correct answer. For this question, 2, the correct answer. 2B. Ms. Rajini Singh 2D. The purpose, you are giving too much power to the government. Yeah. I think you people should live in a totalitarian state. 1984. Big Brother is watching you. I think you people love governments. You prefer governments controlling you. Okay. I don't know. You read Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson, both of whom held strong opinion about what a government should do and what a government should not do. And so much so that Thoreau, in Civil Disobedience, says the government is the best, which interferes the least. Okay, that government is the best, which interferes the least. In fact, he goes on to say that interferes not at all, that lets its citizens do whatever they want. So, this is the American idol of freedom. Okay. So many of you wanting to go to America, remember, it's a total change from India. Nobody will tell you what to do. You do what you want. The laws you have to be aware, that's all. No protection. Also, no monitoring. You are free. So, Darshan D, Janice B, wow, good show. Aisha B, Aisha, you know what, Aisha, up to now you've been getting all the answers right. Up to now you've been getting all the answers right. Maybe I'm looking at one more bet. Okay. Let us see. Kumika says, yay. The proposed change. See, the problem is you cannot stop. Yeah, the company has not repaid deposit, but is that the end? Suppose they pay, what happens? If suppose they've repaid, the proposed change of name may be done by passing a special resolution, obtaining confirmation of tribunal. No, that's not a procedure at all. For change of name, you need not go to tribunal, right? All you need to do is pass a special resolution for change of name, then amend the memorandum. That's not a problem. But if you have not repaid deposits, you cannot change your name. But in case you have repaid the deposit, then you can go ahead. Once you repay, you can. So the answer given by Aisha Ji is correct. 2B. Who else has given 2B? Guduri has given 2B. 2B. Jan is 2B. Aisha 2B. Guduri again says 2. A is correct, but B is more appropriate. Hello, B is correct. There's no question of appropriate. C, madam, A is an absolute no. Whereas B says, if you repay, you can. Advise the company. The question is, advise the company. So if you, how are you going to advise the company, A or B? So B. Okay, B is more appropriate. Okay. What did you give? You gave A. See how the human nature never wants to accept that it is wrong. I never fail to be surprised at the inability of human beings to accept that they are wrong. Very dangerous attitude. When you are willing to accept that you're wrong, you learn. Okay, especially in CA exam. When you're going through the suggested answer, remember, the idea of going through the suggested answer or practice manual is to be, see, you will get it wrong. Then if you keep on justifying your wrong answer, nobody is going to give you marks for it, especially in multiple choice. Good show. And that to remember, at least I'm taking effort to ensure that my English is good, that my grammar is good. To that extent, I'm being a little more accurate. Some of these questions are so badly drafted, you will get confused. A group of entrepreneurs from Tirupur, which is in Tamil Nadu, a very small town in Tamil Nadu, but one of the export capitals of the country, from where exports happen, many exports, mostly knitwear. They specialize in knitwear. It's a small place called Tirupur in Tamil Nadu. They wish to incorporate a company to be engaged in operating a common water treatment plant. Because see, they have this problem. They do dyeing now. So they use chemicals for the dyeing. So that chemical gets dumped into a beautiful river called Noyal that flows near the town of Tirupur. That river is now totally polluted. So the activists have put a ban on it, and courts have given a ban. Just like the leather industry in Vanambadi and Ambur got a big hit because of this pollution. Tirupur also got a big hit, but then they woke up and then they started treating the water. So that water treatment plants were there, but many of the smaller guys in Tirupur couldn't afford it. So they decided, many of them have done it. A group will come together and form one, which will be centrally located. They will put pipes, and from everybody, the exhaust will come, the waste will come, and that will get processed. And the processed and treated water will be cycled back. So they will reuse the treated water. So that's a very beautiful way. You save on water, and you also are not pollutant. It's a green, sustainable growth, whatever it is. So having justified the project, they wish to form a company limited by guarantee and having share capital. Because this is not for profit. They will distribute dividend at the end, but the idea is to start. They can even get a loan from the government for this. So they want to put a small amount of share capital, put a guarantee there, and start, and then get loan from government, repay the loan. See, most of these guys operated on a pay and use model. So what happens is, once the plant comes into existence, based on the metric ton flow, the ton flow, how much flew into it, they will pay. So there'll be a meter reading and they'll pay. That will be the revenue for this company, which will have expenses. Net of that, there'll be a profit after tax, which would again be either taken back as dividend or flowed back into this. It's a beautiful model. Okay, believe me when I say this, but that is not the question. The question is very mundane. The question is, which format will you use for the memorandum and articles? So Bhumika says 3C. Rajini says 3C. See, this is the type of question that is ideally suited for MCQ. This is what MCQ is meant for. Where you straightforward, you know it, you don't know it. If you don't know it, you can't answer it. You can, inky pinky bonky. That's all. You put inky pinky bonky. If you're lucky, you will get C, which is the correct answer. By fluke also, you will get C. Man not knowing can put inky pinky bonky and get C. That is the problem with MCQ. That is my complaint about MCQs. Even some students of Company Secretary Institute were very angry with me because I once said that even a chimpanzee putting, by sheer probability, I need to only teach it how to shade that small circles there in that OCR shape. If I teach my chimpanzee correctly, see, I made this comment very clearly. I said, I didn't compare anybody with a chimpanzee. I said, I can send a chimpanzee to that exam, and that chimpanzee, the probability theory says it can clear that exam. Sorry, Company Secretary comes later, but definitely it can clear that exam. Probability says. And after all, the correction is not done by a human being. It's done by a computer, not even a computer, by a device, OCR device. That's going to just see. So this fellow neatly, the chimpanzee is going to shade better than possibly you and I, because he will hold it very carefully and do it. And sheer probability, this fellow will appear many, many times. No problem. Maybe I will send 10 or 15 of them in. Now my probabilities become better. Sorry, when I told this, they got very angry. They said, you are comparing us with chimpanzee. I said, I didn't compare you with chimpanzee. I said, I will send chimpanzees in and they have a probability of clearing, which is totally different from saying you guys are chimpanzees. No, you are great human beings, highly intelligent. The MCQ is an insult to your intelligence is what I said. The MCQ pattern of testing a CA student or a company secretary student is an insult to that student. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyway, this view about MCQ is my view. And I have been proved right by the Institute of Company Secretaries. Now, for the last 5 years, I've been shouting, 4.5 years, I've been shouting, MCQ wrong, MCQ wrong. Now they go back to descriptive. Now they go back to descriptive. I teach that subject for them. I teach accounting for those pathetic creatures. And MCQ, now it's descriptive. Imagine how they're going to suffer. They can't even write journal entries properly. Forget. So if you have to teach them how to write a journal entry, BCom is waste. What they studied in BCom, forget it. I don't know about other states. My state, no way. They know nothing. Okay. We go back to my friends, the Adekar Group. Adekar Industries Limited, a company having its registered office at Pune. I'm sure you remember the case study from Share Capital and Debentures, Vikram Adekar and his fictitious but great company, which was in Pune. Now Adekar ji feels, it's better to move to Mumbai where it's easier to control. So he moves it to Mumbai. And how to move it? Four. Sorry. For A. What is the problem with A? For A. A is ordinary resolution. D is tribunal. Both are wrong. For changing from one city to another city within the same state, different ROC. One city to another city within the same state, different ROC. So only regional director needs to confirm. But the resolution to be passed is a special resolution. So Bhumika is right when she says it is 4C. Okay. Remember, please note the shifting of registered office from one state to another. This is within Maharashtra. So only one special resolution for shifting. There will be no change in the memorandum situation clause. What does the memorandum situation clause say? The registered office of the company will be situated in the state of Maharashtra. No change. But when you want to shift over from one state to another, then two. One for altering the situation clause. See, that's why it says now the company should alter the situation clause. That is wrong. Why alter the situation clause? You're still in Maharashtra only. Right? So why change the situation clause? So A is out. And that too, for altering the situation clause of the memorandum, you have to pass a special resolution. So every way A is wrong. D is wrong because no tribunal. No 50-50 B and C. So company should file a resolution with the registrar for registration. No. It has to be filed with the regional director. You have to apply to the regional director for confirmation. Once he confirms it, you have to file it to the registrar who will register. The regional director will then send information to both the registrars. One registrar will transfer the file to the other registrar. You have to file a copy of the confirmation of the RD with the destination registrar to whom you are going, Mumbai. That's it. He will take care of the file transfers. 4C. For the reasons explained by me now, Rajini ji, it is not B. It is only C. For changing from one state to another, 2. One for altering the situation clause, another for changing the register office outside the local city. See, for outside the local city limits of any city, town or village, you have to pass a special resolution. That is the special resolution you are passing here in C. But since you are going to move from one ROC to another, this resolution has to be confirmed by the regional director. In the same way, when you're moving from one state to another, you have to obtain the confirmation of the tribunal. Got it? Again, you remember, if you're moving from Chennai to Mumbai, you have to get the confirmation from the Mumbai tribunal, not the Chennai tribunal. You have to go to the destination and you have to get it there. Got it? See, this also, I hope, acts as a revision for all of you. So here we go with a couple of descriptive questions. Nowadays, I seem to be conducting your classes on top of hills. The other day, I was in a small hill called Sirumalai. Now I'm in a small hill called Yelagiri. So many of these classes are on hilltops. In fact, Mr. Darshan, if you want to have psychological knowledge, don't worry. Our institute syllabus is going to be amended to include psychology. I'm not joking. There was a proposal to have a, basic psychology paper included in your syllabus. Definitely, a chartered accountant would benefit from psychological knowledge. You can assess your clients better. Okay. So what is the answer? 5. So there is no choice, no? So you have to actually write answers, yeah. No shading. So the liquidator will not succeed. See, basically, this is an exception to the doctrine of indoor management. See, the bank is a third party. The bank has gone through the memorandum and articles. So doctrine of constructive note is satisfied. They have seen it. And they know that the checks are to be signed by 2 named directors and counter-signed. Now I've got the proof that these 2 fellows are company secretary. See, remember, this is possibly when there was no MCA website. Because today you have a chance of knowing. You can go to the website of the company and check whether these 2 fellows are directors or not. Okay, let us say that you did it. Let us say that the bank goes to the website of the MCA and sees. It finds that there are two people there. Okay. And then the signs came, the specimen signatures came with these fellows' name, Vikram and Betal, and they signed. These signs only are appearing in the checks also. Later on, it is discovered that the directors were never appointed. No board meeting was ever held. The company secretary is, as usual, doing all nonsense. Mr. Neil. Okay. He has prepared board resolution, forged the signatures, not even forged. He has signed as Vikram and he has signed as Betal. And that sign is only coming to me. Yeah. See, boss, I am the banker. I am supposed to check whether Vikram and Betal are directors. Yes. Have they signed here? Yes. Have I got KYC for them? Yes. I passed the check, yeah. Now, if that Neil has committed any fraud, that is between the company and Neil. Bank is a third party. Doctrine of indoor management. Okay. The doctrine of indoor management will apply to the case. The bankers are bound to inspect the articles. Beyond that, they are neither bound nor entitled to look. At best, they can find whether Vikram and Betal are directors. If the MCF site is there, even though they have not appointed, this fellow is uploaded, who knows? See, such frauds have happened because the directors didn't and all they will put. And DSA, they will, that is where that digital signature certificate becomes very, very important. Be very careful about it. It's almost as good as your signature. Okay. The directors of Satoshi Bitcoin Trading Private Limited had powers to borrow money up to rupees 10 lakhs. Directors up to 10 lakhs. An ordinary resolution passed by shareholders was required, excess of 10 lakhs. The directors of the company lent 35 lakhs. The consent of the shareholders was not obtained. The company invested its entire funds in Bitcoins. Due to a total collapse in the Bitcoin prices, which could happen anytime, don't worry. Okay. There was a huge loss and the company went into liquidation. The balance in bank was little more than 20 lakhs. Now that the directors say, hey, that belongs to us because that is the 35 lakhs, we're taking it. Can they do this? First of all, was the borrowing correct? No. The company can borrow beyond 10 lakhs only with the shareholders' consent. Have they done that? No. Can these people claim indoor management? No. Why? Because they are directors. Mahoney versus East Hollywood Mining Company. Also, Tarkan's rule is meant to protect an innocent third party. Now, these people are purported to act as directors. Correct. So, I'm going to move into this share capital and debentures. This is, see, already one case study I did it, Adekar Industries, during class. This is in addition to that, I'm going to do one more. Okay. We have another 15 minutes to go. I will finish this hopefully and we will move on. Excellent Castings Limited defaulted in payment of its preference dividend for the year ended 31st March 2017. The dividend was finally paid on 15th September 2017. The company also defaulted in payment of dividend declared on equity shares, which was subsequently paid on 15th December 2017. So 17 got over. During the financial year 21-22, okay, the 21-22, that is before 31st March 22, the company is desirous of issuing equity shares carrying rate of dividend which is 4% higher. And these shares will have only 1/5 voting rates. That means they are proposing to issue DVR, differential voting rate shares. The company wishes to know if they can go ahead with it, with the plan. See, in these cases, they have paid the preference dividend on 15th September 2017. Equity dividend 15th December 2017. Maybe they had a slight cash crunch. They managed somehow and paid. Now they want to go for DVR. Can they go? Friends, this is also a revision. So I would like you to answer rather than me give the answers. Because I've already taught the subject. If I give on the answer also, again I'll be teaching only. This will be a revision for you. No problem. This is only a practice session. You can be wrong. When I am wrong, I learn. That's why I love being wrong. Because when I'm wrong, I learn. And when I keep on becoming right now, I stop learning. So that's why you should take up challenges higher than you, where you will be wrong again, and then again learn and keep on growing. So Aisha says 1D, Bhumika says 1D, Darshan says 1B. See, you should distinguish between equity and preference dividend. B, if it had been only equity dividend, B is correct. But preference dividend is also there. Preference dividend, if you have defaulted, you cannot issue DVR until the expiry of 5 years from the date it is made good. It has not expired. So D is the correct answer. It's not possible because a period of 5 years has not expired from the financial year when the default was made. C, is wrong because equity you can issue immediately. Only for preference you have to. I'm sorry, C is the correct answer. The expiry of 5 years from 1/4/2018, that is 31st March 23. Therefore, it is not possible. So I think there is a mistake in my answer. C is not possible because the period of the date of default period is not possible because the period has not expired date of the finance and the default was made good. So C talks about not possible because the period of 5 years has not expired from the date of default in payment. Not possible because the period of 5 years is not elapsed from the end of the financial year. So section says 5 years should elapse from the end of the financial year, which is the financial year end is on so they paid it on 15th December. So 18 only it ends. So from 1/4/2018, in fact, always remember whenever the word from is used, we leave that date. So 31/3 will be left out, and you have from 1/4 you have to count 5 years, which will end only on 31st March 2023. During financial year 21/22, you cannot, which means D is the correct. D is the correct. C is tempting Ms. Guduri, but it is wrong. B is wrong because of this. Let's see one more. Super Infrastructure Limited, an unlisted public company, has already issued equity shares with differential voting rights, being 10% higher dividend and 1/20th voting rights, etc., etc. There is 1 vote for every 20 shares and all that stuff. Now they wish to alter this by giving the shareholders 5% higher dividend and 1/10th voting rights. So they're giving 5% higher dividend, but reducing it by half. 1/10th voting rights. Okay. Actually, they're increasing it. A general meeting of the shareholders holding such shares with differential voting rights was called and held for this purpose, and a special resolution approving the decision was passed by those of such shareholders who were present at the meeting. Subsequently, a group of 5 shareholders who collectively hold 11% argued that the variation is not in order because the consent has not been obtained from the requisite majority. Okay. So the company held a meeting and got a special resolution passed. But these fellows are saying, no. First of all, it is in favor only. Now, see, they're giving you more dividend and giving you better voting rate. What is your problem? But still, the name of the gentleman is giveaway. He's a contentious person. Contentious means always fighting, always creating, always not agreeing with what you say. That's the type of a person is called contentious person. So the argument put forth by Mr. Contentious is correct because the approval of all the shareholders should have been obtained. It's not correct because the company has obtained a special resolution. It's correct because the consent of in writing of not less than 3/4 of the members not obtained. No. It's not correct because the company is not a listed company. D, straight away I'll eliminate. It doesn't matter. This is applicable to all companies. The consent in writing need not be obtained. Again, all the shareholders know. B is the correct answer. Okay. 2B is the correct answer. Okay. Where contentious is wrong. So there is not correct. Simply he can talk, that's all. But is there any relief available? In case contentious and the 4 other shareholders are seeking any other remedy, how will you address them? See, finally they come to you and say they're saying we are wrong. No, what to do now? What can they do? So 2B is the right answer as given by Darshan. Now moving on. 2B, 2A, B is the correct answer. 2B. See, now these guys are called dissenting shareholders. Contentious and the other 4 are called dissenting shareholder. So they can apply within 21 days, whatever. Now the law is very clear. According to section 48, holders of not less than 10%, here they are holding 11, who did not consent to such variation or did not vote in favor of the special resolution may apply to the tribunal within 21 days to have the variation cancelled. Variation shall not take effect unless and until confirmed by the tribunal. The order of the tribunal shall be binding on the shareholders. Therefore, Mr. Contentious and others can apply within 21 days to the tribunal to have the variation cancelled and the application filed by any member of the class. So B is the correct answer. Right? B. No. 2B, the correct answer is A. They can apply. I'm sorry. They can apply within 21 days to the tribunal, not the registrar, to have the variation cancelled. So they have to go to the tribunal. So what you should do now, just keep track of authorities, date lines and all as a diagram in your notebook. So you'll be able to remember it better. Supreme Garments Limited wants to allot 10,000 shares of rupees 10 each at a discount of rupees 5 per share to key employees as a gesture of gratitude, although the employees have not provided any value addition in the nature of know-how or intellectual property. And the offer is not being made to all the employees in a uniform manner, but is based on the MD's own discretion. So you are selecting, cherry picking a few employees for some services rendered, God only knows what, and giving them shares at a discount. 10 rupees share, giving 5. Can you do this? Is the proposal valid or invalid? Since we are running out of time, I'm going to go for the answer. By now, you would have realized that the proposal is invalid because you cannot issue shares at a discount. You might argue that sweat equity shares can be issued to employees. The unfortunate problem is the shares are being issued to employees. But remember, you can give at a discount only if it is sweat equity share. For sweat equity shares, the employee should have provided some value addition in the nature of know-how, or should be giving intellectual property right. These guys are doing nothing. Even if you argue that it is ESOP, sorry, even ESOP shares cannot be issued at a discount. Only sweat equity shares can be issued at a discount. Okay, so 3D is the correct answer. Mrs. Regina Construction has issued 5 lakh equity shares of 100 each, on which rupees 50 per share remains uncalled. Mr. Amrit Lal, the holder of 1,000 shares, submits an application for transfer of the shares to his brother-in-law, Mr. Gyanchan Shukla. Advise the company on the procedure. Friends, this is a problem that I call, this is a theory question. Please don't think this is a problem question. This is a theory question, disguised as a problem. How do I know that? Though names are used and numbers are used, what is the final line? Advise the company on the procedure to be followed. So there is no question like whether Gyanchan Shukla is correct or Regina is wrong like that. So this is a clear-cut theory where a company receives an application registering partly paid shares. In this case, Mr. Amit shall send to the notice to the transferee, Mr. Gyanchan Shukla, in form SH5, asking him whether he has any objection. If the no objection certificate is not received within 2 weeks from receipt of notice, the transfer shall not be registered. You have to write this. I mean, this is an MCQ. Sorry, this is a descriptive. You have to write this answer. It may be you may be given 2 marks for this. We have Mr. Contentious again. Mr. Contentious sent an application for transfer of his shares in Casual Approach Limited, an unlisted public company. The application was in order and there were no discrepancies. In spite of repeated reminders by electronic mail by Mr. Contentious, the company has not registered the transfer, nor have they provided any reason for their refusal. Where a public company refuses to register the transfer of any securities but does not send any notice of refusal, the transferee may within dash of delivery of the transfer deed file an appeal, which is the correct answer. This is again a classic MCQ type question. It is a valid MCQ question. Student knows or doesn't know. That's all. Student knows, mark. No, no. No argument, no logic, no thing, no doubts and all, no vagueness. You know it, you know it. You don't know it, you don't know it. This is the ideal MCQ. Such questions are suited for MCQ type. But when you take a descriptive question and try to confuse it and then word it, and then the 4 options are so confusing, it becomes so inelegant. That is not correct MCQ. Make it a descriptive and let him write whatever he wants. So this is the last question I'm going to handle today because we have reached 8:30 limit. I'm waiting for your answer. 5B. Bhumika says 5B. You know, in my PowerPoint, if you go back and look, you'll see there's a diagram. Just have to follow the diagram. That's all. If you remember the diagram, this question will be answered in 1 second, and you'll get 1 mark or 2 marks just like that. The transfer may within 30 days. See, here they have not given notice of refusal. You are confusing this with notice of refusal. Where notice of refusal is given. So the correct answer is D, 90 days. Check out. You can check out the material wherein we can see. Okay. So, my dear friends, hope we had a wonderful session when we also could do some revision of the old topics. I will be uploading this assignment PDF, acceptance of deposits and declaration of dividend PDF, notes PDF by tomorrow or max day after. Inshallah, on the 1st of August 2023, we'll be starting accounts of company, account of companies. So that topic will be starting. Okay, it was wonderful. Wishing you a great evening ahead. Bye.